Hello children, I take immense pleasure to welcome you all for the next academic year. It has been a very long leave for you, isn't it? I am sure you are staying safe at home. By the way, we shall start our next academic session. As you have studied in your previous classes, English is split into a prose, a poem and a supplementary reader. In this lesson, we can see about the first poem, that is The Ant and the Cricket. This belongs to the category of a fable. Do you know what a fable is? A fable is a story about animals and it conveys a moral to the readers. In our younger days, we would have come across many such fables like Hare and the Tortoise, Ant and the Grasshopper, Lion and the Mouse, etc. So this poem, The Ant and the Cricket, is a fable. This is an abstract from Aesop's fable, where Aesop was a Greek storyteller. So in our poem, there are two main characters, that is the ant and the cricket. About the ant, I think you are very well aware that ants are very active, hardworking, and they collect or store their food for the winter. And since we don't know about cricket, we shall see some interesting facts about cricket. So crickets are insects that belong to the grasshopper family, and the sound of the cricket which you hear at night during the rainy season, the chirping sound, so that is from the cricket. So the sound made by cricket is called as chirping. So the one important or one beautiful thing about the cricket is it has been used widely in most of the English literature by many poets like William Wordsworth, John Keats, etc. Now, shall we step into the poem? I shall be reading the poem and I'll explain the meaning to you. I want you to underline the words then and there as I say it. Okay. Shall we start? Yes. A silly young cricket accustomed to sing through the warm sunny months of gay summer and spring began to complain when he found that at home his cupboard was empty and winter was come. So there was this one cricket. Accustomed, underline the word accustomed and write it as used to. It has the habit or used to sing. When does the cricket sing? Through all the warm sunny months of gay. Gay, underline and write happy. So months of happy summer and spring season. So it was very happily enjoying the summer and spring season. Now the cricket has began to complain. When did he complain? When he found that the cupboard at his home was empty. That is, there was no food grains at all for him to survive the winter. As winter has come and there was no food to eat, he started to complain. What did he complain? Not a crumb to be found on the snow-covered ground. Not a flower could he see. Not a leaf on a tree. Oh, what will become, says the cricket, of me? So what the cricket complained? The cricket complained that there was not even a small crumb. Crumb, underline and write, a small piece of food. There was no food to be found as the winter has settled in and the entire ground was covered with snow. It was a very harsh winter. In abroad, the winters are very harsh. So he couldn't see even a single flower or not even a single leaf on a tree. So the cricket became so worried and afraid, and it tells that, oh, what will become of me? At last, by starvation and famine made bold, all dripping with wet and all trembling with cold. So at last, by starvation, underline and write, it means hunger. And famine. Famine is nothing but shortage of food grains. That is, the winter has settled in and the cricket is worried because he is hungry and there is a famine, there is nothing to eat and he is dripping and trembling. Trembling means shivering. Shivering due to the heavy winter. Away he set off to a miserly ant. So where the cricket is going? He is going and meeting a miserly ant. Miserly means a stingy fellow who keeps on accumulating things, who stores things but never spends it. You call such a person as a stingy or a miserly fellow. So this cricket goes to the miserly ant. And why does he go? Because the cricket wants himself to keep alive through the winter. And he goes to the ant and he asks for certain things. So what are the things that the cricket asks for? Him shelter from rain and a mouthful of grain. So these are the two things that the cricket is asking the ant. What are they? A shelter, a house to protect him from rain, and some food grains for him to survive the winter. He wished only to borrow, he would repay it tomorrow. So now the cricket is giving a false promise, telling that, see, I am getting all these things from you and I am borrowing these things, and at a later stage in the future I shall repay it to you. If not, he must die of starvation and sorrow. If these things are not provided, that is the shelter and food are not provided, then the cricket is very well aware that he is going to die because of starvation and sorrow. On hearing the cricket, the ant replies in the following. Says the ant to the cricket, I am your servant and friend, but we ants never borrow, we ants never lend. Now as a reply to the cricket's request for shelter and food grains, the ant, being a very polite insect, it tells the cricket that even though I am your friend, I cannot borrow, or we ants have a policy that we do not borrow from people nor do we lend anything to people. So the ants never borrow and we ants never lend also. But tell me, dear cricket, did you lay nothing by when the weather was warm? Quoth the cricket. Not I. So now the ant is asking, see, when the weather was very sunny and warm, didn't you lay nothing by? Lay nothing by, underline the phrase and write. That means, didn't you store anything? Did you not store anything when the weather was warm? The ant is asking the first 4 lines. But tell me, dear cricket, did you not store anything when the weather was warm? So the cricket is replying, quoth the cricket. Quoth, it is an old English term which means said. So said the cricket, not I. No, I did not store anything at all. My heart was so light that I sang day and night, for all nature looked gay. So this was a reply from the cricket. See, since the climate was very fine and the days were very happy and cheerful, I was singing the whole day and night. I did not store anything at all. So the first 3 lines were spoken by the cricket. My heart was so light that I sang day and night, for all nature looked gay. You sang, sir, you say. This sentence was spoken by the ant. The ant is now asking, so you are telling me that you sang the entire day. Okay, go then, says the ant, and dance the winter away. Now the ant became very angry, and now he says that, okay fine, you were dancing through the happy summer days. Now, since the winter has set in, now also you can go and dance to your heartful. And I am not going to help you at all with shelter and any food grain. Thus ending, he hastily lifted the wicket and out of the door turned the poor old cricket. So the cricket, as the ant refused to help the cricket became so angry, he hastily means quickly lifted the wicket. Wicket is nothing but the wings of the cricket is called as a wicket. He immediately lifted his wings and he flew out of the door of the ant. Folks call this a fable. Folks are us people. We may think that this is just a mere fable story. I'll warrant it true. I'll here refers to the poet. The poet tells that I'll warrant it true. Some crickets have 4 legs and some have 2. That means there are some lazy crickets. The crickets which have got 4 legs are the actual crickets. There are some lazy crickets as well as some have 2. So some having 2 is what? Some lazy people who are having 2 legs. So here the poet symbolizes that the people who are lazy, okay, like the cricket who are having 2 legs. So what happens in the end? The ant has refused to help the cricket, and so the cricket got angry and it flew away from the ant's house. So what is the moral or the central theme of the story? I have summarized all the hard words which we have seen so far. I have summarized everything, so you can take down the meanings of the words later on. Okay. Now, what is the central theme of the poem? This poem conveys a very realistic message. It shows that if one doesn't save anything for future, if you are not thinking or if you are not planning your future, then you are destined to suffer. So in this story, the cricket represent human beings who are not wise enough to save for future and those who are very lazy. Whereas the ant represent people who are very active, hardworking, and they boldly plan their future. Now for the important part of the poem, what are the poetic devices used? Poetic devices are nothing but the techniques which are used in the poem. So here if you see, we already know that the ant and the cricket are insects which are incapable of talking. But we are giving a human attribute like laziness, activeness, boldness, anger, everything. These are human attributes. We are giving this to the insects. So such a type of figure of speech is called as personification. Personification is nothing but a figure of speech in which a thing that can be even an idea or an animal is given human attributes. So here the ant and the cricket are the insects. Even though they are insects, they are imbibed with human qualities. The second poetic device used here is alliteration. Alliteration is nothing but usage of same letter or sound at the beginning of the words. For example, through the worm. So here T and T are repeated once again. Similarly, in the second example, sunny months of gay summer and spring. Even here yes, S and S are repeatedly used. So such a type of poetic device is called alliteration. I shall be sending you the question of this poem. I want you to read the poem, understand the meaning, and then answer the questions on your own. Thank you for listening.